show. Hockey, sports, life for the adult athlete. Powered by the Beer League Players Association. Follow us at the BLPA.
Everybody, just follow.
Keep connected with us. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You dig that?
Follow
on every social media outlet. And make sure you follow the crew on Twitter. Nick at Nicker Jones, Jason at Beer League Jason, and Jillian at BLPA Jillian. Let's get it.
Buena Cinemana. Good week, everybody. I'm back, Nicky Italian, right here for your listening and viewing pleasure. But speaking of viewing pleasure, look how fresh and clean my man Jason looks in that new fucking camera. Boy, we're stepping up in the world. What's going on, Jason?
Yeah, it's like we're a real thing now.
I know.
It's not all hazy and foggy in front of me, but doing good, man. Having a little bit of FOMO from the pizza pictures that you sent me, but other than that, doing good.
Yeah, we'll dig into the pizza and the food because Italian hands or whatever they talk with you, do whatever, right? We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about it's okay. I'm going to be upfront, frank, and forthright with everyone that's going to be on here today. There's going to be a lot of Italian talk today. I mean, I'm not speaking Italian. I don't know much Italian, but we're going to talk about this trip to Italy because it was fucking incredible. Not in this live video, but in the downloadable portion. There's a couple interviews I had with players as we were walking the streets of Italy about their experience. So you'll have to download the podcast to get that stuff. But we're going to talk about Italy. Obviously, we got Tahoe coming up too, which is, by the way, sold out with a waiting list. Let's go. Then we got a bunch of other tournaments coming up. We got some ref stories to go with. And yeah, so there's a lot of shit going on. But before we get to that, before we're there, tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at all social medias at the BLPA. You can find me at Beer League Jason on Twitter, Nick at Nicker Jones on Twitter, and the Nicker Jones on Instagram. So follow all of us.
And we didn't mention Jillian. Jillian still is a part of the show. She's doing things. She's birthing humans.
Yeah.
One human.
Creating life.
A lot of people
created life.
She has created life.
It.
I mean, a lot of it was her husband for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like, you know what? When my wife does all the stuff to make cookies, mixes them up, forms them, puts them in a pan, puts them in the oven, but then I pull them out and I say, I've made those cookies. That's kind of what Jillian's doing, right? Like she popped it out. So she had the baby. We get it. But hi, Jillian. I know you'll probably be listening. She did have the baby, big baby, named Jason Nicholas, just like we thought it would be. I don't know if that's the real name, but we're saying it's the real name. It's gotta be. Like, why wouldn't you name the baby that, right? So we got the baby coming. We've invited. We sent her a link. Obviously, she's going through mom life right now, so maybe she has time, maybe she doesn't. We sent her the link. Said, hey, if you want to come in, jump on in with us. People want to know about you. They want to see you. They want to make sure you're alive and well, and that everything's good with you. So,
did you notice anything about the baby's birthday?
I did not notice anything about it.
Do you remember what it is off the top of your head?
Well, I know what I want it to be. I want it to be 10-10.
But it's not.
So we're gonna tell everyone.
No, we're not.
Yeah. It's okay. 10-13,
which is
my
your
number
and my number.
Let's go. See, that's the.
So I mean, Jason Nicholas only makes sense.
That's fitting. And if she didn't name it that, and she's listening right now, you better fucking rename that baby because guess what?
That's our numbers.
Yeah, that's our no. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. Wow, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking 10-10 because it was my number because I'm a selfish motherfucker.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about your number, but yeah, that works too. Too. So congrats to Jillian and Jillian's husband who had a lot to do with the baby. And speaking of other things, we'll probably also talk about money lining. Can we just get money lining out of the way? Kind of tell where we're at in our money lining situation.
Yeah. So I think last I don't think we talked about it, but last we had posted in the Discord, we hit a monster. We were up to like 1,800.
Yeah.
Again, like we were riding high. I sent you a bet that we got. It was a tough one. We missed. We had a $500 bet out of our 1,800. It was on, I think, 4 wide receivers to hit receiving yards. One of them only needed 25 yards. I think he ended up with like 18. But the part that was tough was the game got away. It was Denver versus I don't remember, but Denver was crushing them. And it got away, and we still needed like 8 yards. And I was like, we're never going to get it because Denver's crushing them. They're not going to throw the ball. They're just going to run. Then they threw it to him, 14-yard catch. I'm like, woo, we're there.
Let's go.
Flag on the play. Comes back. They end up punting. I'm like, well, that's it. We're never going to get it. They're going to run the ball from here. It's fourth quarter. It's getting even later in the fourth quarter. They're up big. They're never going to throw it. First play of the next drive. They throw it to him. 14 yards again. Said, hey, ball don't lie. 14 yards again. We nailed it. Flag on the play. Illegal man field. So we missed it. We missed the 500, and it killed us. So then I did another bet. It was the Rams versus whoever they played. Either it was a Thursday or Monday night game. We had Tutu Atwell at plus 25 yards. Right before the game starts, they announce, hey, Cooper Kupp's back. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Tutu was their leading receiver while their receivers were out. He'll still get his catches. About 30 minutes before game time, hey, Puka Nakua is back too.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, we're in trouble. He saw 4 snaps the whole game. He got 18 yards on 1 catch, but that's the only catch he made, and we lost that one as well. I told you we kept missing barely. We just kept, barely missing. And then this last weekend, we tried one more, and we didn't miss barely. We missed by, the whole thing. We just absolutely got crushed. We're down. I recalculated. We're down because the first bet was 500. The last 2 bets were 250 each, so we're down to $800. But I mean, let's say down. We're at 2,800 out of the 200 we started with.
Yeah. Listen, we're money lined up, right? And you listen, we're gonna go through peaks and valleys. I mean, that's just life, friends.
Yeah.
That's just life. And if you want our bets, you can pay us $10 a month, and you're always going to be in positive money. You might lose a few bucks, but you're always going to win with us, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna get back to the winning ways. I think I'm gonna take Thursday off. I took last night off. I think Sunday I'm gonna jump back into it. We're gonna get back into our winning ways.
Yes. What's up, Jeff? And listen, we are motherfuckers, but you mean it negatively. But we are positive,
positive
motherfuckers.
Send us your mothers.
Yes, send us all. All right, so I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get all of the other stuff out of the way before we go to Italy, because Italy's going to take up the bulk of the show. And I'm sure people have questions that are in the chat watching us. So feel free, fill our board up with questions. I'll answer these questions about Italy. I'll tell my stories. We're obviously, I mean, look at me, look at Jason. We like food. We're going to talk about a lot of Italian food. It's just the way of the world. I do have some bad news for you though.
Uh-oh.
Remember, we were all fucking stoked, rammed up about BLPA tattoos, and we were going to be the first people to get BLPA tattoos.
I mean, we were until you basically didn't go through with it. But
somebody's already got a BLPA tattoo.
Oh, who was it? Was it
his name is Mike? His name is Mike Baker. He
Okay.
was a goalie in Vegas. You would know him from a couple of the Vegas tournaments that you guys came to.
Okay.
He got a goalie with a little BLPA banner under it as a
Okay.
tattoo. He sent me the picture of it, and it's I mean, listen, I'm very grateful that people love BLPA that much. I really thought we would be the first people to get them, since I mean, we basically are BLPA, but apparently we're resonating with enough people that that other people are getting these tattoos. I was trying to see if I could find it and show a picture of it on here, because it's in the Vegas one for sure. Here it is. Look at this guy. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it.
You're gonna have to just send it to me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send. I'm gonna send it to. Actually, I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna send it to my email here, and then I'm gonna pull it off and post it on here. So, so no tattoos as of yet, but they're still on the docket. They're still on the docket.
I'm still on board for sure.
We're still on board. So here's something else that we need to discuss on the front end. I've posted it in the chat. Puck 10. We sold out the first tournament. Big timers, right? We're big timers in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And we got that going. But I had some dinners with some peoples in Italia. And basically they were asking about Puck 10 and everything that was kind of going on with it and what we were doing. And then I get a note afterwards, and he said, he obviously likes what we're doing. He cares about it. He cares about it immensely, especially people that are trying to do good things with hockey and sports. And he committed to, if I can raise $10,000 myself for Puck 10, he will match it dollar for dollar.
Let's go.
So we raise 10, we get an extra 10. We'd be at 20, which would almost get us halfway to our funding goal of the $50,000 to do our yearly scholarship of one in each state. So if you can give anything to Puck 10, I'll post the link again. I mean, listen, it's for a good cause. It's all going to go to the right spot. Obviously, we're going to be transparent and show all that stuff. There's a rally up thing. We're already up to $675 of the 10,000. So we're at 6.7%. If someone will donate $15, we'll be at 6.69 or 6.9%, which is hilarious. But I'd rather be at $6,900 to where we'd be at 69% totally. So if you guys can give that would be incredible. We're going to have some more Puck 10. We're talking right now internally about some places that we're going to make Puck 10 tournaments. Obviously, the first one has been pretty well thought of because it's sold out, and we can only do 12 teams. I like bigger tournaments. That's just, I like bigger and better,
Sure.
That's what she said. And so, yeah. So, okay, here's the tattoo.
Let's see it.
Look at that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's solid.
BLPA banner right there. I mean, listen, it's a goalie.
It's kind of odd that a goalie would be this much into the BLPA.
That says Nick hates the goalies, right? That's what they say. Nick hates the goalies. Nick doesn't hate the goalies.
And clearly the goalies don't hate Nick.
I'm a man of the goalie. That's what I am. Shout out Frank, who didn't do this, but he should do this, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yep, Frank. But anyway, so that's that. All right. Tell us some referee stories. Tell us some referee stories, because I have something that I posted in BLPA that I'm taking a lot of flack for. It's about goalies, and it's about referees, and it wasn't even a troll post. All right.
Okay.
And I might have been, as I've read it, I might have been misguided on what I talked about with it, but the fact still stands. Let me just read. I was watching Game 1 of the World Series, the one where Freddie Freeman just walked it off in a fucking bomb. I don't know if you saw that.
It's like every game, though, isn't it?
He's hit a home run. Yeah, he's hit a home run in all 3 games for sure. Fuck him for spurning the Braves. But anyway, I was watching it, and I said, I'm just going to read the post verbatim. This isn't a crap on NHL troll post. Really, I often call NHL a substandard product. Watching the World Series tonight underscored some of my thoughts. What an incredible game for reaching the first ever walk-off grand slam in postseason history. When it comes to my issues with the NHL, officiating accountability is a big one, especially in a league that heavily promotes gambling. How can they, in good faith, accept fans' bets on games when referee bias or subjectivity can directly impact the outcome? Now, this isn't an issue that's unique to the NHL, but I believe it's particularly problematic there. Baseball, for instance, has a system to track and document calls like balls and strikes, and umpires are graded on accuracy. I've seen that the suspensions are possible for poor performance. Hasn't happened in the MLB, but it has happened in the college ranks. That transparency sets a standard and holds officials accountable. Could implementing a similar system in the NHL improve officiating standards and transparency? I've long advocated for referees to be available for media questioning post-game and to have their calls publicly reviewed. Could a grading system, as seen in other sports, be a step towards creating accountability in officiating in hockey? What are your thoughts?
I think there should be accountability officiating at all professional sports. As you said, specifically now, because leagues promote gambling as heavy as they do. Did you watch, I don't want to get off topic. This is on topic, but off. Did you watch the...
Hold on. We have a guest.
Oh boy.
Okay, we're switching out of referee talk. Okay. Unless the referee is as beautiful as this woman that's about to come on here, then we'd go right back to referees. There she is, Jillian! Yay! And a dog. Oh,
well, you said beautiful woman, so I was finding one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jillian, what's going on?
Got going through it.
You're looking great. You don't look tired.
It's all an act.
Do you have your coffee?
For it. Huh?
Do you have your coffee?
We are going to get it after this. I haven't been out of the house yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
This
Well,
is like
listen.
an 8 a.m. of newborn time is 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually my 8 a.m. just in Nick born time. So
Must
perfect.
be nice.
Yeah, well, it is nice. It is nice, Jason. So Jillian, tell us. I mean, listen. I just told you the news that we discovered. I was being selfish. Me and you chatting about having a 10-10 baby, and we were just going to say it was a 10-10 baby and not tell anyone.
Yeah.
And Jason said, "But what do you notice anything about the birthday?" And I was like, "Yeah, that it wasn't 10-10. That sucks." And then he said, "No, 10-13. That's our numbers." And
I
so
couldn't stop thinking about you guys in labor. So
I know.
I pushed faster to make sure it was that day.
You
Appreciate
definitely like you hollered our names when you were giving birth, didn't you? I knew it.
No, I didn't even scream. It wasn't even bad. I think epidurals are like the greatest blessing on earth. Like as labor, no joke. Pushing, easy breezy. I would do it again right now if we asked. Even if you didn't ask, I'd say sure.
Okay,
I'll push
do
out
it.
another baby.
Do it, yeah,
like,
do it
when you're
right
on
now.
drugs, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Hey, next time, I don't know if you're planning on having one, another one,
I
but
have
next
to.
time,
They said they ask you when you're in like you go in for triage, and they're like, "So, what are you planning for birth control after this?" And I was like, "Videos of me like this is my birth control for next time."
okay, so no baby, but if you do, can we do like a natural one in a pool in your front room, like those people do?
Well, we have Posey's kiddie pool in the backyard, and I just forgot to bring it with me. Otherwise, I totally would have done that.
Yeah, so you missed out.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone's saying congrats. I don't know if you can see the chats.
I don't see the chat. But
Well, we have Matt Miller saying fuck him.
Oh,
I don't know who
I
he's
do.
talking about.
Baby
Holy
bump
shit,
list.
it's skinny Brooklyn. Oh, Jeff Peck. That Jeff Peck. Congratulations, Jillian, from Stephanie, who was on here earlier saying they wanted to see the baby. I said, well, I don't know if the baby's doing the fame tour yet. And then
I know we're doing the thing because I'm scared of AI.
yeah, well, me and Jason, as a matter of fact, me and Jason have already AI'd your baby.
Yeah,
and as soon as you get out, we're gonna.
I wish you did that. I wish you did a Photoshop version of what my baby would look like.
Yeah,
Maybe next time.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Jason to Vegas so we can do a dramatic reenactment of your birth. So that's
Do I get to be Jillian, or is that you?
Well, would you? Yeah, you're the baby, and like it's remember it's me, and it's just me with video of my legs, and then you'll pop out.
Okay.
And wah, gaga goo goo, whatever babies do, you know?
First words.
That's how I act in Vegas anyway. So
I know it's perfect. We'll do it on a casino floor because we'll be like, well, Jillian's baby, obviously 10-13 named. Yeah, named Jason Nicholas, has to be a degenerate. So
Jason Nicholas.
Yes. So, but no, we just want to say congrats. And people wanted to know that you were alive and well. And I was like, you know what? We're recording.
Alive. I don't know about the second part, but
well, you look well. I mean, I don't know if you're using filters or whatnot, but you're looking stunning. So
thanks. I took my hair out of a bun and I put on mascara. So
okay. And you know what's crazy? Like that baby's not even crying right now. Like what's going on?
Everyone, that's like when they see him sleeping, they're like, "Oh, he's such a good baby." I'm like, "You're here for 20 minutes." Like, yeah. I mean, he's not bad. He really isn't, but he was just having a little bit of a rough morning. So, you know, we all have those. I give him that.
Yeah, we do. Well, I do want to say, like, I've been blessed to see some photos because I caught her in a weak moment.
True.
And I mean, when the baby's named Jason Nicholas, in the hair category, he definitely took after Jason. Like that baby's got a full head of hair for sure.
It's like Jason's beard equivalent. I've never seen the top of Jason's head exposed, but I'm just gonna have to take your word for it.
Yeah,
it's all bald up here actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's my biggest fan?
Oh, she's at her house. We're actually going over there soon, so I should have waited.
Oh,
and she was wearing a BLPA shirt the other day. I'm like, I need to take a picture, and she's like, oh, I don't look. She didn't feel cute, so. Well, she only wants to send you cute pictures.
Yeah, tell her to text me. Tell her. No big deal. You got my number.
Yeah.
You got my number. So anyway, I mean, obviously being a mom is the big thing going on. But anything else of note you want to talk about? You back to coaching volleyball?
That up like I did have an announcement or something.
Yeah, you back to coaching volleyball or what?
I coached up until like 2 days before I went into labor, and I was playing pickleball the day I went into labor.
Nice.
But otherwise, since then, I'm going to the games. I'm not coaching yet because, you know, like the China needs time to recover.
Did you get on today just because of how bad you beat me in fantasy this week?
That did feel really good. It's actually not over yet.
It is over.
Yeah, it finished Monday. Today's Tuesday.
Oh, sweet. It's over.
You won. Congratulations.
I just
like,
lost to someone who doesn't know what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good.
I know. Rob's like, do you check your lineup? I'm like, what year is it? And I like had someone in, like I had someone who was out. I'm like, perfect. But then I still won. So everything's okay.
Yeah. Well,
so that is the only reason. I just wanted to feel better. And then also hear how you guys probably lost in money lining of some sort.
Whoa. You've obviously
don't bring that negativity in here.
Yeah. You can't listen, you can't come. We want mom positivity.
Yeah.
Hey, can I tell you, since you're on here and you're a mom, I'm going to tell a mom story about Italy. Okay? So it was, I mean, obviously I'm away from Cooper a lot. You know, that kid don't even know who I am. But,
it's better for him, but
yeah. But Cooper's mom, this was like her first big trip away from baby cub, you know. She did not handle it well.
Oh.
And listen, I get it. Like Cooper plays into it. He knows how to wrap a mom around his finger. Yeah. And he's sending like these sweet videos with like a sweet Cooper voice that he never uses except for this, like, hi mom, I miss you so much. I love you. And it got her. It broke her. It did it. And we were supposed to stay like 2 or 3 days. Look, she's yelling at me in the chat right now. We were supposed to stay like 2 or 3 days later and experience, you know, Rome, you know, without having to work or not Rome, but just Italy in general. And she basically was like, I don't care what it costs. We're changing the flights. And I'm like, we're not fucking doing it. We're not spending that money just because you're sad of being away from Cooper and blah, 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 blah. And then like, I'm taking a taxi to the airport to pick up our people. And she's like, I get to thinking like, I think about Jillian and how she just became a mom. And I think about Jillian's mom being my biggest fan and how moms are just important to kids. And I caved and I booked the earlier flight home to make her happy.
Wow.
And so that's my mom story. And I, obviously I also thought about my mom, who I miss dearly, and just thought, you know what, I'm gonna get her home early. And then guess what? Then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 days, Cooper wasn't being nice and sweet, and I could have just rode out the wave and not had to spend the extra money. But we got home early and we surprised him. Like we came home like on I think it was 2 nights early or something. And he was already in bed. So we just went to sleep. And like in the morning, like he like saw the lights on and he like creeped in. He's like, Mom, is that you? Are you home? Is this real? And so it was a good time. So there's your mom story. So
you know what's wild?
What?
My kids are at their grandparents' house this week, and me and Kate are living our fucking best life. Not mixing them at all.
You're like, lose my number.
Yeah, like they're your problem now. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, do you have any like surprises from mom life so far that you didn't think? I mean, you're a boy mom, so you've been peed on for sure.
Yes, first diaper I changed, peed on.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I'll never forget those days. As soon as that cold air hits, they just let it go.
Yeah, and so you do the expose and close, and then you're like, okay, I got him now, and then you're like midway through, and he's like, he's like those little sprinkler heads going off. But I haven't gotten pooped on, which Rob did get. He's like, live action poop, like yelling it from the changing room. I feel like on day 2, we call it like the sports announcer curse when you're watching, and they're like, and he hasn't missed a kick in over 14 games. And then they like go on that next play. So literally on the second day home, I'm like, Rob, this is so easy. And that is what, don't ever utter those words out loud. And so I got it like handed to me on a platter. Since then it's been a slow climb back up, but then I learned to take the good days and the bad. Like there's going to be a good day, then there's going to be a bad day, then there's a good hour, then there's a bad hour. And I'm like, I can't do it. And then he just like holds my finger and I'm like, everything is perfect and wonderful. So I don't know. Depends on what I'm crying about. Like I'll be sad and cry. And then Rob takes them both for a walk. And then I'm like, I can't believe he's going to be in high school. I wanted this so bad. Like I cried in the car thinking about how if he's in high school and he doesn't like me, I was like, what if he's one of those like lame ones and he comes over with all his friends and he's like, yeah, Mom, get us some snacks. And I'm like, you don't even appreciate what I did for you. And like, I can't snuggle him. So I'm like snuggling him now because he can't say no. but we're a consent driven family. Help
There's
me.
a lot going on over here. There's a lot going on. The hard part, I like. It's funny that you mentioned that because like I'll go and like watch Cooper at school, and he's not like me in terms of. I mean, he's got like that funny personality and talks a lot, but in groups, he's kind of more like inward. Like he doesn't need to be the center of attention like I do.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like, do these kids not fucking like him? Like, do I gotta go beat some kids up? And like when they're mean to him, like you feel bad, and then you just have to like. You think back like when you were young, you're like, kids are just bullies sometimes. And I guess this is one of those times where you have to let him figure out how to handle that. But then I'm like, because how I would handle is I'd punch him in the face, but they don't let people do that shit anymore. Right. So,
yes.
yeah.
I hate being a grown up for that reason. Cause like the kids will sass you and I'm like, you're not funny. Like I'm but I know a better punchline to that joke than you, but I can't say it because I would get arrested. And I wish I could punch you so hard, but I can't because I get arrested. Like, being a grown up and having to hold yourself back, but being like, oh my God, you think you know so much. And I could just literally blow you over.
But the funny part is that we also are at a point in our lives where we think we know so much, but then there's also so much that we don't know as well. Right. It's crazy, but being a parent is awesome, but it also sucks. Cause you're like, holy shit. Like I'm responsible for how this sack of skin and bones turns out in this world. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, this is like an actual person in a little body. And I was like, I'm the only thing keeping him alive right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I've kept one alive for 14 years. And as the
You
person
fed
with
it?
the oldest child of our group, it's also very rewarding because my kid turned out to be a fantastic human being. So when you get there, you're like, I nailed it.
I have to wait 14 years and then it's all worth it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were talking about high school, so I mean, you're already in that time frame. So
that was a low swing. Yeah, that was a different time.
Yeah, so it's a different time. So, all right. Well, I mean, do you want to stick around a little bit, or do you want to go about your day?
I can watch you guys talk. I'm waiting. The doctor was supposed to call me, but they're always late for things. So I suppose I can just stay until they call me. But don't feel free. I mean, you don't need to include me. I'll just sit here and listen.
Okay. Well, hey, here's what we're talking about. Cause I mean, you have a different, take on it because of a different sport in volleyball. We were talking about how I was watching the World Series and I just got talking about, referees and how they kind of grade MLB umpires. And I always call NHL substandard product. And part of that is because of the lack of transparency and, taking accountability for the refereeing, especially when you're asking people to bet on it so you can make more money as a sport organization, whatever. And so we were talking about holding referees accountable. I don't know if there's like referee anger in volleyball. I mean, what do they miss? Like out of bounds and such? Is that kind of
touch
the big thing?
A net? Like if someone's in the net and they don't have replay and there's no like challenging, especially at a high school level. So you just like yell every play. And it's like fast enough that the ref can be involved in almost every play. Like if they're not seeing stuff or if they don't know the rules, and then you'll be like, they're not supposed to do that. They're like, oh, sorry, I missed it. And that's it. Like, because every point is coming from a mistake. It's not like they just get to play their game, it goes way faster.
For sure.
There's no follow-up to be like, yeah, sorry about that. I kind of sucked today. They're just like, yeah, I missed it. And you're like, okay, be better at your job. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, people tell me that all the time. But I think, I think especially in the NHL, like I said, because the big issue for me is like you're asking people to bet money and you're making a portion of that money.
Yeah.
But there's no, like even someone was arguing like, hey, I'm a referee, on one day, if the game calls for it, then I'll call this penalty. But if not, I'll kind of let it go. And I'm like, that's the whole issue. Like if a penalty is a penalty on Friday because you think the game's chippy and you got to set the tone. But on Saturday, that same action is not a penalty. That's wherein lies the problem. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just playing devil's advocate and saying that's the reason why people are so frustrated with officiating, because you say, oh, I'll make the call in this instance, but I won't make it in that instance. And that's what leads to hey, people are betting. So if a referee just decides, oh, this isn't the instance that doesn't need to be called, well, I'm not going to give this team a power play. Now they didn't cover the spread or what. There's just all this stuff in it. It's more of a discussion point of how to hold referees more accountable in the pro level of sports.
Are they allowed to bet?
The referees?
Yeah.
I would imagine not, But you know what? Shohei Ohtani also was not allowed to bet, and he found a way around it, even though he said it was his handler making these bets. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah.
Right.
I would just have like
So-
my sister bet for me and be like, I got us on this next one.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue.
I'd be truly shocked if there were referees betting on the games that they're refereeing, because it's easier to track back to them than you think.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like to think the best of everybody. That's me.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
So my agreement, I do agree that, like, because there is gambling, they need to be held at a higher standard. I don't think refs are throwing games purposely to cover spreads or not cover spreads, but it doesn't change the fact that if you fuck up, it's my money that's at risk.
Exactly.
So you got to do better.
Yeah. And not even, listen, we know people are going to make mistakes. We are
For sure.
human after all. And it's not even that you made a mistake, but come out and explain your mistake. To be accountable in the media. So that way, when you're making these calls, maybe it makes you think, I've got to hold myself to a higher standard because I'm going to have to answer to it at some level. And you're an official, Jason. I get it. In my experience, when you say stuff like this, officials get their backs up against the wall. Like, why would you question us? We're the officials, yada, yada. Listen, I'm not trying to throw referees under the bus. That's not my style.
You just throw goalies under the bus. Let's
No, you even
Throws everyone under the bus.
Jillian, wait a second. Look at this. Everyone says I hate goalies and me and goalies don't get along. We found a guy in the wild with a tattoo. Look at this. That's a goalie with a BLPA tattoo.
Whoa!
So obviously, me and the goalies is an exaggerated point.
Is that your calf?
No, mine would look
I hear a
way
lot
nicer.
about your calves.
Mine would look way nicer. I'm actually planning a video. I'm gonna start going to the gym, and I saw these videos on TikTok where girls put their phones up and then try to catch people looking at them. I'm gonna tape my phone to my calf while I'm doing calf raises, and then film everyone that's looking at my calves. That's my next video. So,
I can't wait.
My favorite videos are the ones where they're like spoofs of that, where like the guy will walk by and he clearly checks out the girl, and then he looks and sees the phone and immediately lays down and puts his hands behind his back like he's being arrested.
Yep, but already guilty in the court of public opinion. So
That's right.
all right, so we all agree that referees should be held accountable, and I mean I don't know what it's going to take to make that happen. I mean I get it two ways. One, they don't want referees to feel like, oh shit, I can't do my job because I'm going to have to do their job scared of having to answer for it. But on the flip side, they also don't want superstar refs that are just playing to the camera. That could be a
yeah,
thing
but if
too.
I suck at my job, I have to answer to it. So if you suck at your job, you should have to answer to it too.
100%.
Not everyone does that. Have you thought about the people who get to do their job poorly and then no one ever says anything, like weather people?
Sure. There's yeah.
But that's just a guess. Like they're forecasting. Yeah. It's a hypothesis, like in science. I know all about science. Hypothesis is just an educated guess. Doesn't mean it has to be right. You got to run the test to figure that out. So
what's this incident with Frankie James?
Absolutely need to be held accountable table. Not one penalty was called in the incident with me, which hopefully we can talk about soon.
The incident with me.
Yeah, there's an incident, beer league drama. I think I know the incident he's talking about. I don't know the whole story. I've kind of read parts of it online, but I'll get Frankie J on. Maybe next week we'll get him on. He can tell his story. But Frankie J, if I remember 100% correctly, and my memories might not serve itself well because I've been gone in Italy doing Italian stuff. You also don't play anymore, right? Because of the incident. Like you've decided that for your safety, you should not play hockey anymore. So it is a big deal.
Stop saying the incident. You're like that guy who posts a picture of his wrist with a hospital bracelet on Facebook. He's like, tough night.
Are you still wearing your hospital bracelet there?
Okay, it's a Fitbit. I gotta track my steps I do.
Okay, just make you flashed it quick, right? When something's flashed quick, I gotta ask questions.
Guys,
okay,
I was admitted.
Yeah, it's on her other wrist.
Yeah,
she's the epidural's still in me.
She's like, if I keep this on, it's like he's a baby that just came out of the hospital forever.
Yeah, everyone feels bad for me then.
So, but anyway, so my wife also is calling me out. This is coming from the person who told an Italian ref they sucked, then gets the first penalty after the comment. Okay, to be fair, I went to the Italian officials prior to the game starting.
To them like this?
First I walked up and said, Pardon me, excuse me. Do you speak English?
Why
And
are
they
you
did. And
saying?
Why is it so seductive?
Yeah, it was seductive. One of them was a female, so I was using my, hot
Got it.
Italian chick voice. And they said yes, and I'm like, oh, so we can chirp you in English? Fuck you. And then I skated off, and they thought it was funny. All right.
Okay.
And so after the first period, they were skating. They were skating off the ice because for some reason, we'll get into this later. They did a full cut in between the first period, so
Okay.
they skated off, and I was like, hey, refs, you suck. And then that was just it. And they thought it was funny, but then they came out and promptly gave me a penalty, which sent me to the penalty box. That wasn't an actual penalty box, nor was it an actual bench at the rink, but we'll talk about that more in just a few minutes. But yeah, so I did chirp refs because that's what you do. You chirp referees. That's just how it goes. So outside of that, I guess it's time to move to Italy and talk about Italy.
I need to hear Italy, except for I have to leave.
Oh, well, that's good. You can download.
Good. Download so I can hear the rest.
You can download the rest because I do have some interviews I'll be plugging in with some Italian players about some English, some American players about their experience. And I will, I made some friends with some Italians, and we can probably get them on the podcast. The female ref is she's in marketing over there, and I've kept in contact with her, and I could probably get her on to kind of talk about things. So Jillian, thank you for coming on. We love you. Hopefully you're back soon. Tell Jason Nicholas we love him too, and give him a hug for us.
Nicholas is ready to explode. Well, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear him. We just wish we could see him. Come on, a quick flash, just like the bracelet. Oh yeah, what a cute kid. He looks just like us. Yay. All right.
Peace
Thank
and
you.
blessings.
Yep. We'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Okay, so that was Jillian. Congrats on the baby. It's time to go to Italy. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Here we are. Buongiorno. Italy was awesome, by the way. I'm an idea guy. I don't know if you know this. I have grand ideas about things, and I make these ideas, and then I'm like, well, I put it out there. I guess I should do it. And that was kind of what happened with this. Not many people know the story about how Italy got onto the docket to do, but I decided I want to go to Scandinavia. But I didn't want to just do one country in Scandinavia. I wanted to do 3 countries. And then it sold out. And then we added a second team, and it sold out. And then I started thinking, holy shit, I've never done anything like this. I should probably do a smaller one. And I'm an ancient Roman dude, right? I always talk about stories about that. And I'm like, let's go play hockey in Rome. And I was like, wait, is there even hockey in Rome? But there is one rink outside of Rome. And I was like, but let's not just go to Rome. Let's also go to a couple different places. We'll go Rome. We'll go to Florence. We'll go to Milan. And so I set it up. I sold it. We got, we had 11 or 12 skaters and a goalie. And so it became as I wanted to do a test run before we did the big Scandinavia one. Sure. So there were a lot of questions in my mind about what's going on, how's it going to work, yada, yada, yada. And those questions came to surface. But the good thing is, I don't think the players saw those questions. It was more just us on the back end. So I learned a lot in that regard. So it'll help us on future trips. But the big one is this. When you go to these places, one, they want to beat Canadian American hockey players. They want to be, and it's a big deal because hockey is not a big deal in Italy. Obviously, there is some hockey, there are rinks, but it's definitely an average. It's way more figure skating than you would think, right?
Oh no, that makes sense.
And so for a place in Mentana, which is about 45 minutes outside of Rome, it's the southernmost rink in Italy. Right. And Italy is in the southern part anyway, is warm, think of Texas, South Texas or Florida. It's that hot, humid in the summer and there's not much snow. And so it's exactly what the ice you would picture. Right. Okay. We go into this building that's just an old barn on the fucking outside of the city, and it's foggy all over. During warmups, we couldn't see. There was water dripping from the roof, causing big holes in the ice that we are like, okay, we'll scrape it. We'll cover it. The ZAM didn't even fix it. We were trying to fix it. But there was one team in Mentana. It's the only team. And they were super stoked to have us because they don't normally get to play games unless they travel to Milan so they were super stoked to have us. The problem is they have like 26 players. They have full benches, full benches. And
why don't they split into 2 teams to play against each other?
I mean, that's what they do, right? They
Okay.
do, but they play 2 times a week, every week. They have 2 ice times a week, but it's practices. So when they come out, they're doing like drills that you see pros do. Guess who doesn't do drills? Our team BLPA. All right. And so the first game, like they fucking smoked us, bud. Like it was, and listen, it wasn't horrible. Like the score was 10-7. Right. But they could have put like early on, like their first, like their top 4 or 5 guys were fucking players, bud. Like there was this one dude, number 13, nice luscious beard like you.
Yeah.
And just
Great
had just had the sickest fucking hands, like just could do anything. And there's nothing we could do. And he's from there. It's the only place he's ever played was in Montana. He just had that natural ability, and he was good. Right. And so then the second game, they lost 2 of their better players, and we beat them in a shootout.
Okay.
And there's like, oh, it's a tie. It's a tie. I'm like, bud, listen, we're here. Shoot it out. Let's shoot it out. And we ended up winning. So shout out there. Now, here's also what hampered us the first game. 2 of our better players, shout out Taz, shout out guy that was never not under the influence of alcohol the whole time, Brandon. Shout out to both of you guys. The airlines misplaced their luggage, but they were there to play some fucking hockey.
Yeah.
So they made it work. You know how they made it work? Fucking plastic ass rental skates, like orange plastic that strapped over.
Yes.
We were pulling apart like the bicep straps from shoulder pads to put as their shin guards so they could play.
Yeah.
And they were using like old little kid helmets.
Okay.
We wanted to play, bud.
Yeah.
We wanted to play.
Sure.
And so that was a shout out. So Mr. Orange Skates, Taz, just skating up. Like he was fast on them orange skates, right? But you know, it's hard to play in that. So good times. So then we played, those are the 2 games we played there. And then we went to Milano. Far more hockey there. A beautiful, I'm not going to say beautiful facility, incredible sports facility. They had this thing called like janky ball or something. I know that it's like, go play janky ball here. They had swimming. They had a concert at the same venue that night.
Okay.
They had a rink. It had boards. It didn't have glass. It had nettings all the way up, tight nettings, no glasses. Okay. Maybe glass behind. I don't remember. But the benches were literally, hey, here's the stands right here. Here's the boards. We just put a little bench in between there where people walk. That's where you're going.
Okay.
The penalty box where I served my 2 minutes was on the other side. It was just a wooden table I could lean up against. That was the penalty box. So not exactly set up for hockey, even though there's more hockey in the north of Rome and Milan. They had 28 players.
Okay.
Like the bench, the standing room only in between the rink and the stands was full on their side.
Okay.
Full. They trotted out their first line. Big motherfuckers. Like I got to upload this video here too. They were big and they were good. And then you find out one of them played in the KHL and the other on this line were played in the Italian A-League. They did not have a shift where they didn't score a goal.
But luckily for you, there were 28 players, so it limited their shifts a little bit.
So they only got 11 shifts. And the score was 11-2. Just okay. I fully believe that if they would have taken that first line off, like if they did not play, that we would have been a pretty even with them. Even sorry, I'm trying to upload this video of this big guy knocking down our small guy, and so I fully believe that we would have been fairly even with our 2 lines with 1 extra. But then Taz, Orange Skate Taz, that I was telling you about, he had got his gear back by the second game. He got sick, like real sick. Like on the bus ride over, he's got has the trash can. He's puking. He's asleep in our bench. We see him come out every so often to check things out. And then he goes back in there and lays down. Then one time he comes out in full gear.
Wait, sick or
sick? Sick? No, like sick. Like had a bug. They got a bug that went through, right?
Yeah.
Sick. And gets his gear on. We're like, yeah, fucking Taz, let's go. he gets like 2 shifts. On the second shift, he gets a breakaway. He's in all alone. He misses the goal. I think he tries to go 5-hole, misses it, and then crashes like face first into the boards, skates off, goes back to the locker room, and just falls asleep. That was it. But he got in. He got to play, right? And so it was just one of those things where like everyone was like there. Like we had an incredible group of players that went, and I think that kind of helped a lot from the standpoint of holy shit, we've never done one of these things before. Let's figure on just downloading this to show you how big these guys were compared to us here. And so having that group of players that were just so cool, so accommodating, it really helped us a lot in navigating through this. The tough parts, the room. What's up, David Wyatt? I see you over there. The tough parts that we had, obviously the rooms, smaller rooms for sure. And I called everybody, like every hotel, and said, hey, here's what we're doing. Are you guys cool if we store our bags there? And everyone was cool with it until they were like, no, you can't do that. You can't. So we had to move them all to the rooms, right? And so that kind of made it really tough for us to like kind of handle that, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm just trying to. Where the hell is this thing? Boop, boop. There it is. Yeah, I see where you're at. I need to know where it is. There it is. Okay. So do you have any questions for me while I'm dealing with this?
Yeah, I want to know more about the pizza because you said the pizza was trash, but it looked good.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that no. When I told you that the pizza was trash, that was what I thought going in. I have changed my tune.
Okay.
I've changed. Now listen. I'm in the middle of writing some reviews here about the stuff. So I don't want to give it away, but I've already kind of went with one review, and I'll tell you this. If you like thin crust pizza, or if you hate thin crust pizza, if you hate it, Italy's not the place for you. Okay. They are definitely a thin crust place.
Which I like. I like thin crust. I like thick crust too. I like it all.
Yeah, I'm a big thin crust fan. It's my favorite. I am not. Oh, this son of a bitch. The file's too fucking big. Fuck you. All right. So I am not. I'm just not a big fan of the thick crust. Like I think it takes away from the flavor when all I'm tasting is crust. But here's my pie is pepperoni. I love pepperoni. If I'm going to eat a pizza, it's going to be pepperoni pizza. Same. They don't do pepperonis in Italy. They just do. They have a one like a Diabolical or something where it's like a spicy salami.
Diavola?
Yeah, Diabola. Yeah, where it's a spicy salami, but it's not pepperoni.
It's still pretty good.
It's good. It's not pepperoni though. It's not cup and fold up.
We have an Italian pizza place in Nashville, like legit Italian, and I get the Diavola when I go there.
Okay. Well, then that's the closest you would get to pepperoni pizza. And the only reason I know about that is because we were in a restaurant one night. We went at like 10:30 and they sat us in there. Oh, hey. And then I see a sign where it says pizza pepperoni. And I'm like, what? And they're like, well, it's not actual pepperoni. It's like a spicy salami or spicy whatever. Yeah. But it was close enough, but it wasn't pepperoni.
Yeah. Well, I like the Diavola. It's my favorite pizza in Nashville.
Okay.
And I'm like you, a pepperoni guy. Like if you give me cheese pizza, I'm like, what is this? I need some meat.
Listen,
on this motherfucker.
I'll eat cheese pizza if it's the only pizza there, which is basically kind of what Italians do. I mean, they put like prosciutto and that kind of stuff on the pizzas, but for the most part, it's going to be a cheese pizza, a pizza marguerite. And so here was my review of this. I'll read it really quick. If you're a fan of thin crust, Italy's pizza is going to hit the spot for you. But if you're craving extra cheese and a pile of pepperoni, you might find yourself a bit let down by the traditional Italian pies. Italian pizza offers a wide range of toppings, but you'll mostly find fresh veggies, mushrooms, and meats like prosciutto. It's a far cry from the cheesy, heavy, pepperoni-laden slices we're used to in America. I stuck with the classic pizza margherita for this one, and this was in, I believe this was in Milan. It's a pizza with some royal roots. Legend has it that Queen Margherita visited Naples and asked a local pizza maker, Esposito, to create 3 pizzas for her. One of them featuring red tomatoes, white mozzarella, and green basil to represent the Italian flag, and it became her favorite. In honor of her, Esposito named it after the Queen Pizza Margherita. The margherita pizza is light, fresh, and strikes a great balance between sauces and cheese. The thin, crispy crust adds a lot of flavor, exactly what I love. That said, my pepperoni-loving heart was still missing something. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Still good. The crust was seasoned. I like seasoned crust, so it was very good on that one. So
that's fair. Listen, somebody, Jeff Fox just told us that the pizza we eat here is an American creation. Here's the deal about all American creations, right? Because you go to a Mexican restaurant in America, it's not like have the food they have in Mexico. You go to a Chinese place, a Japanese place, it's all Americanized versions of it, and it's all good. The American version of it, of all those things, is great. Doesn't mean that we can't enjoy the traditional versions as well.
Yeah. I mean, do you think you go to France and they're serving French toast? No, they're not doing it, right?
Or French fries.
And listen, don't diss the Hut, because you're not going to out pizza the Hut.
That's right.
One, and they have the best breadsticks. The seasoning on their breadsticks is fire.
I hate Pizza Hut now, but back in the day, when I was a kid,
their pizza.
Yeah, in their glory days, their pizza was decent too. Back when they had a buffet in a big building with the crazy red steeple looking.
Yep.
Pizza Hut was the shit.
Yeah, when you're driving down the road and you see an old Pizza Hut and it's another restaurant, you're like, you're never not going to be a Pizza Hut. Yeah, those places. As a matter of fact, let me tell you a little story about Pizza Hut. When I was a young kid, I had a best buddy. His name's Baker, and a lot of people might meet Baker in Scandinavia. I don't know. But he had a sister that worked at Pizza Hut, and in the summer, we'd ride our fucking bicycles up to this fucking Pizza Hut, and it was like a 25-minute bicycle ride. And we'd give Baker $2.75 or $3 or something for the Pizza Hut buffet and a drink. And we'd all go in there and we'd eat this fucking buffet.
Yeah.
All these years later, I found out he never gave that money to his sister. He just kept it in his pocket, and she was letting us eat for free. This motherfucker.
Baker's the shit. Baker's cut from my cloth. That's the kind of shit that I would pull.
Yeah, it pulls at my heartstrings, but I'm like, God damn.
Oh,
I wish I had all that $3 back. But I do love pizza. But the pizza was, it was good. I would eat it again. I went into it. I must have had a bad pie when I went over there the first time, but I was only there for 36 hours. So it might have been travel weariness or wherever I got it. But let me tell you about this other thing, the best thing that I ate. Cacio e pepe.
Okay. What is that?
When I explain it, you're gonna be like, how could that be good? It's literally pasta with cheese and pepper.
Okay.
That's all it is.
But it's probably homemade or scratch made pasta.
So this place we went in Florence. Now Rome had some decent food. I had some risotto and I had some stuff, but Rome is very touristy, obviously, right? And a lot of these places are touristy, but you gotta kind of, it's like in Japan. You just kind of walk around and then just kind of feel your way around. Is this going to be, if there's people outside in the front of the restaurant trying to get you to come into the restaurant, probably not the place you want to go. That's probably a tourist trap. Okay.
Yeah.
But even in saying that, the places in Rome where there were people, like I ate at a couple of those, they were still good. They were still good, because the difference between our food and their food is all their stuff is fresh.
Yeah.
They don't deal with all the shit that we put in our food, which, by the way, I like our food. Don't get me wrong. I had McDonald's one time, completely different taste over there, right? Because it's all fresh, right? So I just saw this old place and I saw this cacao e pepe or whatever it's called. And it said made with all homemade and black truffles. And I was like, boom, sitting here.
Oh, I love me some black truffles.
Fuck, bud, this fucking homemade spaghetti noodles and this, oh my God, bud. I would eat it till I puked and then I'd eat more. That's how good it was. It was so, I'm still dreaming of that. And such a simple thing. Just little pepper, little cheese, and this black truffles. Oh fuck, bud. It was so good. And the pasta, because it was so fresh. Mwah. So it was so good. So the food was a big, and we had this place, we went to this place called Hosteria Antica Roma. And apparently it's a famous place. I found it back in 2017 when I went over going on my way to Austria, because I was like, you know what? Are there any places there that serve recipes from ancient Rome? I was just nerding out. Right. And I found this place that does some recipes from a 2,000-year-old cookbook. And I've told the story where I got there early, at 6:00, and it's back in the fucking woods. and I was scared, and I walked back there, and no one was there because it wasn't dinner time, but they hooked me up anyway, and great. And it was the guy that owns it, him and his family. His name is Paolo. Paolo's a great. He's not going to remember me from that, but he is the same dude that was there this time.
Okay.
He seats us. We have 18 people. We're sitting next to a couple from Toronto, Canada, who's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? I hear you talking about hockey." And I'm like, "Oh, we're here for hockey." And that was a whole big ordeal. Then there's another group from Houston, Texas that's over here, and then some local Italians. And Paolo don't give a fuck that all these people are trying to have their own dinner. He's there to entertain. Sure. And so he's out here telling fucking stories. Like, he told us the story about when tiramisu was invented, and tiramisu was invented because this dude was just up fucking railing some chick above a hotel, and he needed some, a pick me up because he couldn't, get up second time. So he went down and said, "Oh, yeah, I need something to get me going again." So he made him this, coffee and chocolate and everything that's supposed to sugar. And he said, and we all laughed. He goes, "You know whose favorite story that was? Bill Clinton's." And we just, because I guess Bill Clinton had been in this thing. So Paolo was a great guy, but I mean, the food there, incredible, all homemade. He has this cheese that only he makes, and he makes it from an old recipe that he found in some old history book where they were talking about, oh, they made it with this and this and this. And so he's like, "I'm going to create that." And then he created it, and he's the only place that serves this cheese in Italy. And it's so fucking good, man. Like, they care more about the ambiance of the meal.
Yeah.
And the food, of course, is part of that ambiance. And it just makes it more just welcoming and inviting. And it makes you feel like
cows being pushed into a trough to eat. And they're more like
exactly like
it's experience. And
it's not like it's big. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of steak Florentine. Yeah. But it's like a big, and they're expensive, right? They're like, "Oh, it's $69 per hectogram or something." What the fuck's a hectogram? Like, but like, I ate it a couple times. One time I ate it, and they usually won't give it to you if you're only ordering it for one person. That's how big it is. Right.
Yeah.
And so we had that a couple times, and it's just so fucking good and so fresh. And I can't say enough about, I think if you asked a lot of our players, the highlight, obviously outside of hockey, they would say these group meals, because we went on 3 group meals with each other. For the games. We also had some lunches together, but the group meals, just everyone being around and kind of experiencing it together, and just being outside of our culture and just kind of being able to be there together was awesome. Right.
Yeah.
And the best part, I know people ask me, what was your favorite part? What was the best part? You played sports in high school and college, correct? Or
not
high
college.
School? Yeah. What was your favorite part of those sports?
I don't know where you're going with this. The camaraderie.
The camaraderie when you're traveling to and from games, out of town games, being at the hotels. In youth sports, it's the same way. And I think the bus rides, because obviously, like, we had an hour to the rink each way. We went to Pompeii, we went to Naples. On that, we drove to Florence. So we were doing all these road trips, and those bus rides were probably the funniest moments.
Yeah.
Like, we had some funny motherfuckers in that bus ride. A shout out, Cocomelli and Brand. Like, they're just so like, I'm a funny guy too, and they're funny, and the bus rides were just next level. 50 seaters, basically. We need to use the fucking washroom. Well, it's broken. We'll fucking shit on this floor. Okay, well, you can use the washroom, and so just things like that, man. Just fun stuff. And it really like makes me like excited about like the Scandinavia, where I had concerns. I am concerned we're doing 2 teams instead of 1. That's a bit of a concern, but just going forward in all of these, like, just that first trip, like, cemented that these things are going to be special every time we go, with different people, and able to take kind of like the BLPA, like the idea of just being together with everyone and exploring the world and hockey. And that I think is just incredible. Oh, one thing I do got to show you guys before we stop talking about Italy. So these were the gifts that they gave us, or me, the captain. We, like, every time we'd go to the like center ice, and everyone would stand and salute each other, and then the captains would meet and they'd give us gifts, and we didn't know that. But like, the first one, they gave me like this little box, and it has like this little plaque in it that has like the dates and stuff, and they gave us like their hockey pucks, right? So we got those. Yeah. And that was in Mentana in Rome. And then this one was, they gave us obviously wine. So, and they gave us this whole wooden thing. It has all the player names right here. It has
Hell
this, obviously the BLPA worldwide logo, and it's just a little box for wine and stuff. Obviously we drink the wine, so we don't. And they also, the fighters, they did something super cool. They made us all fighters jerseys with our number and names on them.
Nice.
So we obviously had our team BLPA jerseys, but we just wore the jerseys they made us.
For sure.
The only shitty part was they were Oiler colors. Well, I got over that quick. But then we gave them our jerseys because we thought, oh, that's cool. And that was really cool. But the problem is we had 12, they had 28. So we're like, jerseys. But the highlight of that Milan and the fighters, not only did they kick our ass, which was fine, right? But then afterwards, in between the dressing rooms, they had, I guess it was the female dressing room. They fucking decorated this place up and had this feast prepared in the dressing room. Like literally hockey players in there cooking like the food. And we talk about fresh at restaurants. Now talk about homemade fresh in a fucking locker room. Like you look over to the right and it's just a whole fucking table of meats and veggies and fruit. And then you got this table, these guys cooking pasta and bolognese sauce and just going. And then you got a whole fucking table over here of a guy, forcing us to drink wine. And it was just, and our bus driver's like, we got to go. You don't have time. And they go out and they're talking to each other. Cause Italian, they talk with their hands. And then he comes back and goes, it's fine. We're feeding the bus driver. Everything's good. And so we're like, okay. And we're like, hey, just don't give him any of the wine, bud. Because the funniest part about Italians, they don't give a fuck about anything. Driving, walking, they don't give a shit. Our first bus driver hit a fucking car on the highway. Ran to the back of him. Things just kept going. We pull up to a fucking rink for the second day in Montana and he just parks down and my wife goes, no, we got to be up there. He pulls up and hits a car on the way up. There's people sitting out there. They walk and they go, like, they just don't, I'm like, you just fucking hit your car with a fucking bus. Don't care. And then one, they're walking in between cars and he walks up and the bus hits the guy in the shoulder while we're driving by. And they don't give a fuck. So we're like, hey, listen, just don't give this bus driver some wine, or they're already having issues as it is. Right. So,
he's struggling.
So that was basically, just a trip. Like, I don't want to say once in a lifetime because they're already wanting us back. Like I'm getting messages from her, like, when are you coming back? Let's plan this. We can make it even better. And so, I think we are going to have to, I think that while there are an infinite, well, maybe not an infinite, there are so many places to travel and explore. I think we're going to have to start doing some repeats of these things and taking a bunch of different teams at different times. Cause it's always going to be different for us.
Yeah. And the thing about a repeat is it's likely going to be better the next time, right? Like it probably improves on itself each time. Cause you're more prepared. They're more prepared. Yeah. So as good as it was, it'll probably be even better the next time.
Well, I think the hard part for us is definitely the skill level displacement on this thing, because, and not to anyone's discredit or anything like that. It's just, we go with just the people that want to go. Whoever, right. We're not saying you have to be this skill level. You have to be below this skill level. We're just saying, hey, you want to go fucking explore the world and experience hockey and somewhere else. Let's fucking go. Yeah. And they're a team. Yeah. Right. And so that's where it's always going to be hard. So to get a win there was huge for us because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so for us, it's, we have to take that into it. And I hope these teams, when we start going, if we go more often, they can kind of temper that talent. Don't bring the Italian A-League players, because it's not fun. Maybe it is fun for them, but it's definitely not as fun for us chasing those guys around when some of us can't even skate. Right. Other than that, man, that was about it. One other place that I did outside of, I got invited to go with one of the players to a Michelin star restaurant. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
Apparently there's stars, like restaurants, if they get like the highest rated restaurants get Michelin stars. So it's like Michelin 3-star, 4 stars. I think this might've been a 2-star. I don't know, but it's like fancy eating. Sure. Listen, I'm not a fancy guy. I'm not a fancy dude. I'm just not a fancy dude.
We're beat ups, guys.
Beat ups for sure. But I'm always up for new experiences. Right. And this is the one where they make it and they make a story around the whole meal, which is cool. I love stories. And it's like, okay, we're tasting our emotions right now. And we've made, like, look at the plate. The plate signifies the emotion and the emotion in the food. And so take the food and like tell us what the emotion is that the plate is portraying. And I'm like, okay, well, it's spicy. This guy must be angry. And he's like, yes, he's angry. Like, look at the fist molded into the, because they took the plate and they molded it over like these hand signs, right?
Okay.
And like there's like whatever. This one's love, like it's sweet, like love. And it was really good. And it was paired with a different wine. And I'm not a huge wine drinker per se. I think it all tastes the same except for ice wine, which is dessert wine. And so it was a little different, but it was really cool. I mean, the food was really good. Like there were a lot of flavors, but it was like, I'm more of I pick what I want to eat, bring it out to me and let me eat it.
Yeah.
I don't need all this stuff, but it was a really cool experience, and mad respect to the guy that took us there. I don't want to call him out because I don't want him to think like other people did. Why didn't he fucking invite me? But it was a cool experience. I don't know if I'd ever eat another Michelin restaurant, maybe sushi. I'd probably do a sushi one. That would be a cool one.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it just is what it is. And, I got this cool guy from Rome. It's Coliseum.
Okay.
For him. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's basically it. And before we get out of here, this is the part where we're going to plug in a couple of street interviews that I had with the players, so you'll hear it from more than just my point of view.
Yeah.
And I'll try to get some of them on as the days roll by here. Maybe next week I'll get someone on to just come and talk about their experience. But other than that, I mean, that was Italy. Anyone else have any questions? Anybody? Hello?
Sounds like you had a great time. And like I said, definitely having some FOMO. And if you go back, I'll have to seriously consider it for sure.
Well, we are going back. We do have Scandinavia, and because I found that all these people are going to have big lineups, and we're going to play 20-minute periods, and some people are going to cut. We're going to take full team. Like we're going to take 3 or 4 forward lines, 2 and 3 D lines. So we do have a couple more spots open for Scandinavia if anyone wants to partake on that. And then Japan happening in October. We have 4 player spots left, goalie spots taken. So 4 player spots to have that full team there. So if anyone wants to go to Japan with us, we're ready for you.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else that we didn't cover? You think the Dodgers are going to sweep?
I do think the Dodgers are going to sweep.
Yeah. Dodgers.
Yankees just can't hit. I don't know why.
Yeah. Speaking of Yankees, have you seen that Netflix series about the comeback from in Boston? Like, it's on Netflix, and it's about 2004 when the Red Sox broke the curse and they came back from down 3-0 on the Yankees in the ALCS.
I know the time, but I haven't seen the.
And I've discovered it. It's only 3. It's 3 parts, and it's just a cool insight. Like hearing players today talk about going through that stuff. I love that kind of shit. It's like the Last Dance with Jordan. I just love. I love the inside peek into that kind of stuff. Check it out if you have it. It's really fucking good, right?
Yeah.
Really fucking good. And like the Red Sox are literally like. They're in the playoffs taking fucking shots of Jack before games because that's how they got loose, right? So just check it out. They're more like us.
Same as us.
I mean, that's the thing. I think for me, it's a part of it is they are just, athletes like us, right? They're just doing weird shit
better.
And play. They're just
better.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, who's to say? Who's to say? But yeah, so outside of that, man, lots of shit coming up with us. BLPA bashes coming up starting in the new year. We're in Tahoe next weekend, sold out. We're in Vegas. We got about 8 player spots left for that. Alaska at the end of the year, and then we're going to Philly, which still has. We had to kick a bunch of people out for not paying for Philly. They just signed up and didn't make payment, so I cleaned them all out. And we got about 20 spots left. That thing will sell out once I announce that. And then we have the first ever Tampa Outlaw, a new style we're trying. So Puck 10 very first Puck 10 bash. Greenville team tournament. We're looking for about 3 or 4 more teams for the Greenville one in January. So if you have a team and you're in around the Atlanta area, if you're in and around even Nashville, it's not a far trip from Nashville at all.
Well, it is now because 40 got washed away. It's a little bit longer, but it's doable for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, other than that, guys, longer show today.
I got one more thing. I'm going to post. We're going to have our next bet on Sunday. I'm going to post it in the Discord before the game start. If you guys want to ride with us, so get on that Discord and check out the bet. We're due.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Discord, we're trying to move everything over to the Discord. Not for other than it's just like Facebook's just getting too crowded and people are ignoring a bunch of stuff. And Discord will let us have way more real time communication, especially like when we're at events and stuff. So we're gonna move a lot of stuff over to the Discord, and you can jump on there. I posted shit before, in there, but just jump in and join. It's basically just like an AOL chat room with different rooms, right? And who didn't love AOL chat rooms? Age, sex, location check. Send to receive on them pics, baby. Let's go. But other than that, that's basically it. For the record, I fucked her name up. I meant Skinny Jillian, not Brooklyn. Oh, I thought he was just taking shots at her at that point, right?
Yeah.
When he said, "Oh, look, it's Skinny Brooklyn," but it was actually Jillian. Take that fucking pick. Look, David Wyatt is too old that he doesn't even know ASL. So American Sign Language, Dave.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, that's all you got?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, we'll see you back next week. Maybe we'll get Jillian back in the mix again. Thanks for being with us. We love you. Follow us. Come play hockey with us. Come explore the world with us. How do you know what? Hold on. Before we go, I'll send you let me just pop on the Discord here and get an invite. There it is. There we are. Hold on. I'll get this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to prolong this show. Hey, but why? Oh, we're installing updates on this thing. Why we're doing this, bud? Why we're on here with we're trying to get some streaming going. All right, I'm to a lull after Tahoe where I'll have a little bit of time to do this. I think it would be cool if we found a weekend and we all met in the same place.
I'm down.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like where we all met in the same place and we streamed from there. So let's get with me, you, Peck, Johnny Dunham, and see what we can do. And we'll stream. Like, I think my idea is I can't, I'll have to send that to you, Jeff, personally. I think we should do it, and we could stream for 48 hours to raise money for Puck 10, because like I said, if we can get $10,000 raised, we raise $10,000, it's going to be matched by $10,000. All right. So that means that we'd already have 20 states covered in our 50 states, So if you can donate even a fucking dollar, we can get 10,000 people donate $1. We're in. We're fucking in. I just put the link down there. Just go in there. Fucking $1. All right. All right, boys.